Thanks for coming along today to the Brisbane Southside NDIS Families Forum. It's fantastic to see so many people here today. It's really great. Just before we start, I'd like to commence by acknowledging the Turrbal and the Jagera people, the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, and to pay respects to elders past, present and future, and to acknowledge the role that Indigenous people have in our community. To give you a more formal welcome today and to commence proceedings, I'd like to welcome David Barbagallo to the microphone. David, as you know, is the CEO of the Endeavour Foundation.
It's like school, isn't it? You know? Hi, my name is David Barbagallo. I'm the CEO of Endeavour Foundation. Welcome. Look, today is not actually about Endeavour Foundation, it's about the National Disability Insurance Scheme. We're putting on these forums because a lot of our families have come to us with lots of questions, a degree of anxiety, a mixture of hope and concern about what's going to happen to their current package, what's going to happen to them, what's going to happen to their family member when they leave and so on. And so today, with the help of our good friends from the National Disability Insurance Agency, Fiona Anderson is speaking, and from the state government, who have we got? Tammy Miles, good, facial recognition working well this morning. And also, perhaps the people you'll get the most from today, Steph Berwick and Diane Monaghan. They're where? Over here, all right. Again, they've very generously given us so much of their time. We've dragged them halfway around Queensland. They're from New South Wales. They don't understand how big this state is. But we've had them up in Cairns. We had them on the north side of Brisbane, really dangerous territory, last, I can't remember when it was, Wednesday, was it? But their parents, their mothers from the Hunter Valley, where they're actually engaging with the National Disability Insurance Scheme. So they'll provide you with some really great insights into the issues and the journey that they've been on and will continue to go on. So I won't steal any of their thunder. They're in the second half of the show, but I'm sure you'll get a lot from them. Now, we've got some feedback from the previous sessions. One of them was the whole idea of the National Disability Insurance Scheme, when it's all said and done, is to put, for the first time ever, economic power in the hands of people with disability and their families. In other words, you'll have purchasing power. You'll have the right to make a decision about the services you want by being able to select the service provider or the individual or whomever to provide the support that you need and want. And that is a massive change to what's happened in the past. And I know there are people out here who are probably users of Endeavour services, and hopefully you're very happy with them. And one of the pieces of feedback we got was people were worried that Endeavour Foundation would go out of business. Well, that's not your concern, because if Endeavour Foundation goes out of business, it's probably a good thing, because we actually haven't been providing the level of service that people want. That's how markets work. But we have no intention of going out of business. We've been here 63 years strong. We intend to be here for another 63 years. But we're going to have to meet the needs of people, because if we don't, they'll take their packages elsewhere. All right? So don't be concerned about us. Be concerned about the services that might emerge over the next 5 to 7 years. Another piece of feedback we got is that people want this thing to happen now. And that's a legitimate concern and issue, and not much I can do about that. Suffice it to say that the Queensland Government, and Tammy will say a little bit about this, is doing a lot of work in preparing organisations, families and systems within government to transition to the National Disability Insurance Scheme here in Queensland, which starts on the 1st of July 2016. And as we speak, an agreement is being negotiated with the federal government. It's called the bilateral agreement, which will determine just what programs or what particular disability cohort, the actual mechanism, the nuts and bolts of how the scheme will roll out in Queensland. We don't have that information yet, but suffice it to say, the fact that the National Disability Insurance Agency, and I'm sorry about all these acronyms, it's not like you need more in your life, but that's the reality of this amazing social and economic change that's occurring in Australia. And it's a wonderful change because, as I said with my opening statement, for the first time ever, people are going to be given greater control, greater choice, greater independence over their lives because they're going to have that economic purchasing power. And organisations like Endeavour Foundation are going to have to respond to their needs, and that's a good thing. And we believe it's a good thing not just from an intellectual and philosophical, not just at that level, because we advocated very strongly for it. I personally took a leading role in advocating for the NDIS, but we believe it's good because we think that it will unlock the potential of people with disability and their families to re-enter the workforce, to do different things with their lives and lead a fuller life. And that has a benefit not just to them personally, but also to their families, to their circle, and to organisations like us. So many of my staff express a frustration to me about what they believe they could do if we had more funding in the system, right, on behalf of people with a disability. So all around, we're now in South Australia, New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland. All around those sites, my staff often express this view that they could do so much more if there was more funding. Well, here's the trick. There is going to be more funding. In fact, the funding for disability in this country by 2019 will double what is currently available. So there is reason for hope. You'll hear a little bit more about how that hope can actually transpire into real outcomes. But that doesn't mean that you just can sit back. There's still work to be done. There's an enormous amount of planning to be done. And I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. So after the talking, we're going to have a panel, and then you can ask the questions. And please understand this. Any question you ask, someone else will have wanted to have asked that question, so you'll be helping them as well. But just to set it all off, just to set some minds at rest immediately, the National Disability Insurance Scheme, if you receive funding, if you currently receive funding, then you'll receive funding under the National Disability Insurance Scheme. How that will all work will come out in the detail. But it will not impact on your pension. It is not means tested. All right? We've had these questions, and so I thought I may as well dispel those issues right up front. All right? So not means tested, no impact on pension. Okay? So hopefully that'll answer those questions. But I'm sure there's lots more. I've really said enough. I think, who's next? Jenny, you're going to introduce them? Thank you. Thanks for coming out. As I said, this is about answering any issues and questions that you have. Please feel free to engage. And if afterwards you don't get a question answered, some of us will be here lurking about. You can approach us personally if there's a question you don't really want to publicly air. Okay? Thank you.